Woo! Way too close. Way too close. Way too close. What is up, you guys? What is up? See if we can get anybody up in here. All right, what is happening with this thing? Why is my live thing tripping? Oh, I gotta update it. That's why. There we go. All right, let me type one thing in here real quick. Enough. Freaking fastest I've hopped into a live, dude. I literally like edited it, freaking boom, hit that start button. I usually don't do that. See if we can get some people up in here, bro. Let's see if we can get some people up in here. Unless I go, if we don't get any people up in here, I'm gonna go watch House of Dragons, bro. Not even the biggest fan, but my girlfriend is. So, hey, dude, what is up? Are you guys ready for the week? You guys ready to work? Cause I'm really not. I'm not at all. I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. I don't. I don't. Yeah, dude. I know I do this as a Q&A, but I don't know if you guys have been. I don't know how well you guys keep up with my Eagles, but Gardner Johnson, CJ Gardner John, bro, he's hella talking shit. Hella. I'm like, why are you even talking? I'm like, you're not even on the team. What team is CJ Gardner Johnson even on, dude? What team is he on? Is he even on a team? CJ Gardner Johnson. Is he on the Bills? Oh yeah. Oh, okay. He's on the Bills. Dude, he is 28, and I still think he's a good player. I do. Like, I still think he's pretty good. But dude, he has been around and around and around. He was in New Orleans. He goes with the Eagles. He's off the Eagles. He goes with Detroit. Okay? And then where does he end up? Does he end up with the Bills first or then the Eagles? I'm trying to remember. But then he ends up on the Eagles again. And in both of those trips, he went to the Super Bowl, right? Second one, the Eagles win it. Okay? And then he's off the team. He's with Chicago, and now he's on now he's with the Buffalo Bills. He's hella talking shit. He's fucking talking shit, bro. I'm like, what is your problem? I feel like there's like a jealousy with like Saquon Barkley. Like the 2024 season, with all the success that Saquon Barkley had, a lot of attention on Saquon. I feel like a couple players in that locker room got jealous. And they're both not with the organization anymore. Yes. CJ Gardner Johnson. And can you guess the other guy? Ding, ding, ding. AJ Brown. Yes. Yes. Now, I truly believe this. And CJ Gardner Johnson, it's weird because you're like on the defensive side. So that really doesn't make any sense to me. But like his comments on like the Eagles, what did he say specifically? Eagles. He's talking shit. I'm telling you that right now. He's talking shit. And I'm like, why? But at the same time, I'm like, this is just what he does. This is what CJ Gardner Johnson does, dude. He is a shit talker. And like some people, even some people within within the fan base with the Eagles, they thought that, like the whole current situation with him not being on the team, people thought, oh, it's because CJ Gardner Johnson talks a lot. And maybe that was the case. Maybe. But I mean, I've heard things of him with the Texans, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just interesting to me that no teams wanted to keep him around. Like something's going on there. You know? I don't think, okay, so you know how we see the Brandon Ayuk situation playing out right now? And all that. And I'm like, okay, well, him going somewhere else, the Washington Commanders really look like the only like ideal spot for Brandon Ayuk right now. With CJ Gardner Johnson, with as many teams as he has been around, I'm like, dude, why can't he stay anywhere? He's proven that he's a good football player. But then I see this. I see him talking about right? Saying, oh, well, now it's because you together. I'm like, something up with you, bro. There's something up with you. And then we're talking about an Eagles player that I love when he's on the squad. Like, I think CJ Gardner is really good. But why? Like, what is the problem? The people on the offense. What did Saquon Barkley do? Saquon Barkley is the one player on the Eagles. He's a lot of the players on the Eagles right now. They're just so like about the. They just want to win, right? They want to have success. They want to get all that. CJ Gardner Johnson saying that about Saquon Barkley makes literally zero sense. Because all Say wants to do is go out and win. Like I said, the rest of the Eagles now on the squad, they just want to win. Yes, they obviously want their like individual accolades and stuff like that. But I'm like, dude, you're going after Saquon Barkley? The one guy that just wants to go out there and get a championship, wants to win another bowl, wants to get another ring. I'm like, make that make sense. Make that make sense, bro. CJ Gardner, like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. Sorry if this stream is getting a little bit choppy. Hopefully it's starting to catch up and the speed is like good now. Yeah, we good. But when I saw this, I'm like, dude, why is there always fucking something going on this team, dude? And most of the players are pretty buttoned up, if I'm being real with you. Most of the Eagles players are pretty freaking buttoned up. Mostly everybody. But CJ Gardner had a problem. AJ had a problem. I don't really see much. I don't see other players having problems and shit. I just don't. We just don't see that, especially with Howie Roseman, who takes care of our players. So I see him saying that, and I'm like, dude, I think that 2024 into 2025 season that Saquon Barkley had did a number on two players on the Eagles. Made them jealous. He was the headline. He was talked about. Oh my gosh, Saquon Barkley's having an insane year. Oh, he's over 2,000. Created some jealousy in that locker room, man. That's all I'll say. Just a couple people. But I don't know why Gardner Johnson's going out like this. You're on the Buffalo Bills. Fucking stay over there. Whoop, whoop. Like, what? Why? Why do you care? Why do you care about the Eagles? I'll tell you why he cares about the Eagles. That dude is still salty, and he still wants to be on the team. He does. Because ever since that first year he was with Philadelphia, he talks about them all the time. And I feel like since he, they've forced him out twice, I bet you he feels some type of way. I do. I bet you he feels some type of way. Because he probably thought, oh, yeah, I could have a really good career with Philadelphia. I could be around for a while. He had success there. In the 2 years he was there, like, what was it? In each season, he had, like, both of them, like, +4, 6 interceptions each season, if I remember right. I could be wrong. Fact check me on that. But I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Just go out peacefully. Try to do it like AJ. With AJ, I would not be shocked if AJ starts talking again. I don't think AJ will. But yeah, he's the other person in that locker room that I thought was jealous of Saquon Barkley. I just do. And we've seen it. You've all seen it. You saw AJ reading on the sidelines. You'd see him saying all this stuff to the media. You just see his demeanor, like the way he was acting, bro. It's like, that guy, if he's not getting his targets, if he's not doing his thing, along with the team having success, then he's not going to be happy. He's just not. Because there was no reason. I know people talk about all the, Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown's relationship, this and that. Dude, that Philadelphia Eagles team has had success, is still having success. And for him to like leave the way he did, and I know I'm freaking beating this like a dead horse. I've been talking about it. But like, bro's acting like he's been playing for the Jets. And that's just not the case. From Tennessee to Philadelphia, it got much better for him. And so I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know why players do this. I don't. But at the same time, with CJ, little bit different. Still think there's jealousy there. Little bit different aside from AJ. I think he just feels hurt. I do. I think CJ Gardner Johnson feels hurt that he's not part of this Eagles squad anymore. That's just the way I interpret the fact that he brings up the Eagles literally every single year when he hasn't been on the Eagles every single year. I'm like, dude, he feels some type of way. He wants to be on the squad. He's jealous that he's not on the squad. He's jealous of Saquon Barkley, and he's jealous that he's not on the team anymore. He wants to be in the building. But I'm like, bro, you talk that shit like I've heard. Allegedly, with the Houston Texans, he had an incident with somebody, a friend of a friend in the office, just from what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but the way things went for CJ Gardner-Johnson when he was with the Houston Texans, like the way they just got rid of him, it was like, what the fuck is going on there? Right? Like, it was weird. It was like, dude, what is going on there? And we're talking about why am I forgetting about their head coach right now? D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, D'Amico Ryans. We know how good that defensive backfield is. We know how good that whole defense as a whole is, right? CJ Gardner-Johnson is the type of player that they would want in that defense. The fact that D'Amico was like, hell nah, out of here. I'm like, dude, something happened. And people even had suspicion when he was on the Eagles, something happened too. You know, we got told it was like, oh, it was just contractual, just contract, how he's just getting rid of it. But you hear some weird stuff. And I know fans talk, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I see this stuff with CJ and I'm like, bro. And I'm a fan of CJ. That's why I'm so, like, confused with why he's even talking. I'm like, bro, you're not even on the team anymore. Just let it go. just let it go. Just let it go. Hey, if you're in this right now, be sure to drop a like. Be sure to share this out. And drop a question. Let's talk about it. Drop a question right now. If anybody is viewing this right now, drop a question in that chat. We need to get more people up in here. We need to talk on some topics, bro. This is a slow time. This is a slow time in the NFL. This is where you just got to come up with stuff like anything and everything to talk about. Anything. I mean, what's going on around the league right now? Obviously, you have the Terrion Arnold situation. That situation is wild. The Geno Smith allegations. That's really their only quarterback. I'm like, oh shit. And this is a Jets team that I've been like kind of like hyping up a little bit. Like, I don't think they're gonna be good or anything, but I'm like, they got good enough players to go out there and compete. It just comes down to coaching, in my opinion, and Geno. But if he's not gonna be out there, we don't know what's gonna happen. A lot of things being said. You never know in these scenarios. But I'm like, bro, that can't be good for the Jets. That can't be good for the Jets. They didn't even take a QB in the draft. Like, there were a lot of people thinking that Sorsby was probably going to be, the Jets would have interest. But I was shocked when they were like, no, we don't have any interest. And then sure enough with Sorsby, the NFL's like, nah, son, stay over there. That shocked a lot of people. But yeah, drop some questions in here, bro. Drop some questions. Let's see if I can look up, find anything going on around the league. What the hell is this? What is this? Baker Mayfield drops clear message on Kyler Murray. Oh, well, I mean, they're both Oklahoma quarterbacks under Lincoln Riley. So let me see what Baker says. Okay, so Baker Mayfield. This is Baker Mayfield talking about Kyler Murray. He says, coming from someone who has been in a familiar situation where you think you're going to be somewhere forever and just needing a new change of scenery, I think a fresh start for him is going to be amazing. Kyler gets a bad rap. People want to put a certain persona on him, and they do. They do with Kyler Murray. I mean, when people talk about Kyler Murray, what do we talk about? Ever since for the longest time, first thing, Call of Duty. When the new Call of Duty drops, Kyler Murray's going to play like trash. That's the whole thing with Kyler Murray. Second thing, he has a bad attitude. Third of all, he's playing He's playing mid. Fourth, he can't stay healthy. I feel like that's like somewhat in that order. You can rearrange it however you want. That's what we talk about with Kyler Murray, dude. And I've had a roller coaster thoughts when it comes to Kyler Murray and just him overall as a quarterback. But I'm like, I've just kind of flipped a switch, dude, because I'm like, he's going to a team with a very established offensive mind head coach that looks like he's going to be in the building for a hot bit. And crazy shit goes down, and unless they're not good. But Kyler Murray going to KOC is time and time again what we've seen with some of these younger guys. Just set up in a bad situation. And I feel like when it comes to Kyler was in a better situation than some of these other guys. He was. I mean, obviously you have Cliff Kingsbury for a hot bit. They bring over the Packers freaking DC. Why am I forgetting his name? Former Eagles defensive coordinator. Why am I forgetting his name? It'll come to me. But he had him as the head coach. Their OC, who was kind of a little bit underrated. And we'll see how good he does on the Detroit Lions. But he ends up leaving the Detroit Lions. But within like all the things going on with the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray his game has just been off. And you add the injuries, it's just been really weird. I mean, let's not forget. Do you guys remember that clip of him yelling at Cliff Kingsbury? Just like, chill the fuck out. Chill the fuck out. It's like, damn. And I know some people kind of made something of that, right? I'm assuming shit like that on the sidelines probably happens a lot, if I were to guess. But people see that. They think of Kyler. They're like, oh, bad attitude. And I'm like, this is a really good opportunity for Kyler to kind of just like Baker Mayfield said, bro, it's a fresh start. It's a fresh start on a new team. It's not like he hasn't had weapons, because they did trade for D-Hop when Kyler was in Arizona. They got Marvin Harrison. They had McBride. They had Wilson. They had good weapons in Arizona. But an offensive mind, a proven offensive mind that I know is going to cook. And it will just come down to the offensive line blocking and the quarterback play. In a situation like that, I really do feel good about Kyler Murray. I do. If he comes away from this as a starter, which I assume he will, because he's the vet, it's the same shit that I said with Tua, and some of these other situations. Deshaun Watson, I just feel like that's just kind of how it is. And that the vet will get to start a portion of the season for however long. I don't know. I'm not going to put a timetable on some of these guys. But if it's not working out good, they'll put in the second guy. That's just how it is in the NFL. Some people like to get wrapped up in all the politics and all that shit. And I'm like, bro, it's money with these teams, right? These teams are set out there to be good. There's a lot riding on it, like money, players, attitude. There's so many attitudes in an NFL locker room. They're not just going to roll with one guy just because the coach wants to. And I'm sure that's happened, but right now in the league right now, they're going to roll with the best guy. And if those guys aren't balling, then they'll put in the next guy. It's like that with JJ McCarthy. If JJ McCarthy is, if JJ McCarthy gets that shot behind Kyler, I don't know if he will, right? I don't know if he will, but he'll just have to go out there and prove it. But Kyler and the rest of those guys that I talked about, they're going to have to go out there and fight for their position every single week. Every single week, they're going to be heavily criticized, and they're going to need to hold on to that job. But I feel good about Kyler. I do. I just did a video on a freaking who did I just do a video on, dude? Let me see. I've done a video on so many different like freaking players. I'm like, when the season comes, like I'll remember the names for sure. Cause I'm like, oh yeah. But I've done a lot of videos on some of these younger guys, dude, and I just can't remember them all right off the bat. But once training camp comes back, I bet you it'll be much easier. But let me see, who am I thinking of right now? Oh yeah, Damon Claiborne. So the Minnesota Vikings team, dude, they're stacked. They are stacked. So if I were to guess starting running backs, it'll be Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, Claiborne, assuming some other running back doesn't get above him, because that's definitely possible. You just never know in training camp and throughout preseason. But you got the running back stacked. The offensive line was banged up this past season, and they didn't play good. As long as they're good, the offense will hum. Everything else will work out. You don't have to worry about Jettas. You don't have to worry about Jordan Addison. They're going to go out there and do their thing. Kyler is set up really well. And KOC, for as much criticism as KOC gets, I really like KOC. And I don't see any reason as to why they should get rid of him. I don't. Even though we know it's been a couple times. Has he been in the playoffs 2 times? I think it's 2, right? Or just once. But I remember the last time was Sam Darnold left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. A lot of people were like, it's not Sam Darnold, it's KOC. I thought it was both of them. And I didn't think either of them, like, I didn't second guess Sam Darnold or KOC. Like, after that year, I was like, Sam Darnold just went out there and proved that he could be good. And people still doubted him just because of the playoff performance. Same thing with KOC. Some people are like, there's certain people I watch and they're just down on KOC. And I'm like, dude, why are we acting like it's really easy for these teams to find a smart offensive mind that can lead 53 men in a football game? I'm like, it's not that easy. So like KOC, I'm like, you guys should keep KOC around for a while. Like, I don't see any reason as to why you should get rid of him. I understand the criticism, but yeah, dude, I just think that the Vikings, kind of with what they got going, their defense, we know their defense is going to be nasty. I think Kyler is in an incredible situation where he could, because how old is Kyler Murray? I'm trying to remember how old Kyler Murray is. Sorry, I'm like looking up shit while we're streaming. Kyler Murray age. He's 28 years old. Kyler Murray is 28 years old, bro. He's got time. If he can really make something out of this with the Minnesota Vikings, him and KOC and Jettas and Addison, bro, Hawkinson, I'm forgetting about TJ Hawkinson. They could absolutely cook. They could cook even in the NFC North, bro. So I'm really excited. I'm sure, I wouldn't be shocked if Kyler Murray ends up starting the first 3 to 4 weeks. Are maybe not the prettiest, just because he's in a new system. And I don't really feel like with just today, like the way they make them practice, I don't know if the Vikings are going to be doing any joint practices. That's another thing I should look up, because it's really hard. I feel like it's really hard for these guys to really get back up to game speed up until like week 3 or week 4, just with like the cut preseason games and just with the like kind of limits they put on the practices. So I don't know, man. Let's see if the Vikings are gonna have any joint practices. Are the Vikings gonna have? Don't make fun of my slow typing. I mentioned Baltimore. Okay, so I really like this. They're holding joint practices. So let me see. Minnesota Vikings are indeed holding joint practices this summer. They are hosting, so it'll be in Minnesota. They are hosting the Baltimore Ravens for 2 days of joint sessions. That should be fun. It's still not like in season, but it'll be fun for them to go up against a Jesse Minter defense. And we watched the Baltimore Ravens defense last year. We saw how bad they were, right? But here's the thing with the Baltimore Ravens defense. They're extremely talented. They are, from the defensive line, linebackers, to the defensive backs, the corners, wide receivers. They got Kyle Hamilton, bro. That should be pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings, those 2 days. It'll just be really interesting to see what comes out of that, because like I said, the Ravens were bad last year, but with the talent that they have on that defense, with Jesse Minter coming over from the Los Angeles Chargers, that defense is going to be good. And if we're hearing like positive things in those couple joint practices about Kyler Murray, you should feel really good. If we come out of that joint practice and we're hearing shit about Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy and the offense being bad, I'm just kind of like, all right, got to take a deep breath. We'll see if this thing can, we'll hear more in training camp. I wouldn't hit the panic button if that's the case, but hey, man, we're just going to have to see what happens. We got training camp coming up. what is it, in August? No, 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 no. July. That's when all the training camps start. So training camps are where we're really gonna want to hear about Kyler Murray in between Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy. But those that joint practice with the Baltimore Ravens should be pretty lit. Should be pretty lit because I don't know if you guys know, but have you guys ever seen those clips of in joint practices when they're like fighting and shit? Yeah, that shit gets heated. So that'll be really fun. Kyler Murray, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited. Kyler Murray has a lot of haters too. So if he were to shut up a lot of those people, I'd be laughing. I'll be laughing. Hey, if you're just joining the stream, you see the headline down there? Let's talk football, bro. Put a question in the chat. Put a question in the chat and I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it right now. Right now. And follow me up at the top left on my Instagram. If you don't want to follow me, pop a question in there whenever. And see if we can make a video on it, bro. Make a video on a topic. Hang out and see what else we can get, man. Put a question in that chat, bro. I'm telling you, help out your boy. Help out your boy. Let's see. What the fuck? Dude, Brandon Ayuk is popping off. Holy shit. Did you guys see that last video where he's all talking about Kyle Shanahan and he's all talking about John Lynch. He's talking about John Lynch coming to his house and shit, dude. He's all creepy. He's all creepy and all that. He's talking about Kyle Shanahan. What did he say about Kyle Shanahan? He said he's like a fucking man child. I was like, God damn. We don't hear players say that type of stuff a lot, but I was like, geez, man. Like a lot of people are all, oh, Brandon Ayuk, he's ruining his career. He looks like he is. But it'll be interesting if he does end up on the Washington Commanders, bro. That'd be wild. It'll be absolutely wild. It's like would with the head coach Dan Quinn, with the head coach in the front office, would they want Brandon Ayuk at this point? I don't know. I don't know. But every single day I'm seeing something new on Brandon Ayuk. It's like entertainment. That's fucked up to say, dude, because like I don't know if something mentally is going on with Brandon Ayuk, and I hope there's not. If that's the case, then I'm like, man, he needs to get help. He needs to get help in his family and friends. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. But every day this dude talks, I'm like, what is Brandon Ayuk gonna? Every single time I see a headline that says Brandon Ayuk today, da 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 da, I'm like, oh man, what did he say today? What did he say today? And I'm shocked throughout all of this. The San Francisco 49ers just don't. Like, they haven't even released him, right? They haven't even released him. And I saw that he has to reinstate. And I'm assuming the process and way it go, he had to reinstate. And if he's reinstated, then San Francisco 49ers will release him. Or can they release him while I don't know. I don't know. If somebody's in this live and you kind of know how that process goes, I'm gonna have to look some more up on it. But they just need to get rid of that guy. They need to let him go. They need to let him go, dude. You don't need that type of shit floating around your facility. People talking about Brandon. Oh, did you guys see the newest thing that Brandon said? You don't want that. And I mean, we saw Kittle. We saw Kittle talking about it. Kittle's like, have fun with that. And I'm just like, damn, George. I'm like, just don't even really talk about it, bro. Just like go about it in a chill way, you know? But the Niners are one of those teams in the offseason, bro. They always got they either have a player holding out or and wanting more money, or they got something small going on. I don't know about small. They got stuff going on in the offseason. And that's with this Brandon Ayuk situation. Type in the chat, bro. I'm just trying to come up with stuff. But type a question about your team in the chat. Let's talk about it. Anything. Oh, and another thing that was kind of wild about the Ayuk's last rant, and I've seen this, I've heard how his agent is the same as John Lynch's, and it's just like, yeah, in a situation like that, the agent's probably gonna favor the GM over the player, assuming, I don't know, just a hunch, I don't know, but yeah, man. season. See what else we can find in the chat. Put a question down there, guys. Come on, get the chat litty. I know we only got a couple people in here, but let's go. Let's go. Pittsburgh Steelers. Do I need to make a Pittsburgh Steelers video? I do. They're so intriguing to me, the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? So I was talking with a friend the other day about the Pittsburgh Steelers, just talking about how I felt bad for them, dude. Because, like, the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of those teams where they just want to sit in this mediocre spot 24/7. And it drives me nuts. There's no highs, there's no lows. Like, let's just sit in between mediocre. And I'm like, dude, how are you guys ever going to advance by just sitting and idle, you know? You're not. Pittsburgh Steelers drive me nuts, bro. But I'm excited to see how this season goes, though. We know this is Aaron Rodgers last year. They drafted Aller. They drafted Aller. They got Will Howard. And Will Howard, I haven't even really seen him play because of injury. I didn't even realize that because a friend I was talking to, he told me that. He's like, we've literally never even watched him on the NFL field. I didn't even realize that. But I'm like, it'll be interesting when training camp happens and when the preseason happens because, dude, it's crazy. Like, do you guys remember when Dak Prescott took over for the Dallas Cowboys? You guys remember that? And Dak Prescott was absolutely insane in the preseason. And people are like, well, it's the preseason. Okay, cool. Well, Tony Romo ends up hurting his collarbone, being out. Oh, guess who they bring in? Mr. Dak Prescott. Oh, what is Dak doing his rookie year? He fucking balls the fuck out. Like, dude, I know some people like to get all salty, like, it's just the preseason. But I'm like, hey, man, you got to realize for these rookies and these young guys, undrafted, drafted, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. These are reps. These are meaningful reps and like more live action, more up to speed. Training camp matters to young guys. Just because it's not a regular game doesn't mean you need to discredit it. I don't know why people do that. Okay, we got something up in the chat. Beloved Sandworm says, who is more of a bum? Damn. Who is more of a bum, Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward? I don't think either of them were bums, bro. Why you fucking hating? Why you hating? Who are you a fan of? Who's your team? Tell me. You must be an AFC fan then. If you're saying some shit like that, you gotta be a fan of another AFC team. And I just got a bunch of Patriots fans that subbed up. So, is this a Patriots fan we're talking about? Who is it? I really don't think that it's like, dude, I just love this is what I love about talking football with fans, bro. We just talk shit and it's fun and people get salty and it's funny. But I don't think Shadur Sanders is a bum and I don't think Cam Ward is a bum. Now, between the two, I think that Cam Ward is better and I think the gap is pretty wide, even though the stats might not tell you that. But in game action, yeah, bro, I think Cam Ward is way better than Shadur Sanders. But they're both in a situation this year. If Shadur can somehow start over Deshaun Watson, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because that Browns team has a lot more weapons. A lot more. They do. You're a Saints fan. Beloved Sandworm says Saints. Just compare Tyler Shuck to either of those other two. Fair. Okay. I'll give you this. I'm not gonna agree with you that they're bums. I don't think that Tyler Shuck. I don't think that Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders. I don't think they're bums. I'm not going crazy like that. But I will tell you this: Tyler Shuck, the way he played on the back end. I'm a big Spencer Rattler fan, right? I'm a big Spencer Rattler fan. But if you get Spencer Rattler, okay, let me put it like this. I thought Spencer Rattler was gonna start for the New Orleans Saints. That didn't happen. Well, I mean, it happened in the first of the season, and then later on, Tyler Shuck took over for him. What I did not expect to happen is for Tyler Shuck to ball the fuck out and look good. Because that dude down the stretch looked really good. He did. And, you know, like, I was thinking of this, like, after the year, in first of the offseason, and the more I looked up things on Tyler Shuck, I'm like, why is anybody really surprised that Tyler Shuck had the success that he did in the first of the year? I mean, the later on in the year, the second half. We really shouldn't be shocked because Kellen Moore knows how to work with quarterbacks, dude. He does. He worked with Dak. It okay. Let me put this out there too. Spencer Rattler was under he was under another coach, right? So, but he's still young, so I guess he still should have been pretty solid. I still think Spencer Rattler. I think the Saints should keep him. I do. I think Shuck is way better, obviously, because he's starting. But I don't think they should get rid of Spencer Rattler. But dude, I'm telling you right now, we really shouldn't have been shocked by Tyler Shuck kind of having some of the success he did. And he didn't do anything crazy, but he did show that, oh yeah, yeah, I'm the New Orleans Saints starter. And with them having Kellen Moore, like I talked about, Kellen Moore had success with Justin Herbert. Before Justin Herbert, with Dak Prescott, he had success in Dallas. After Justin Herbert, he goes to Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts in the offense. They have a good year. They go to the Super Bowl. They fucking win the Super Bowl. We should not be shocked by Kellen Moore. Dude, Kellen Moore, I'm telling you right now, he is such an underrated offensive mind. And I'm not putting all of Tyler Shuck's success on Kellen Moore because a lot of it is just Tyler Shuck going out and balling. But I really feel like we underestimated just how much having a guy like Kellen Moore as your head coach and your offensive mind helps out your team, you know? Oh, Beloved's, what do you say? What do you say? Beloved Sandworm says, Prime, I ain't saying that. Said the Saints were insane to draft a 25-year-old QB over Shadur. Nah, no. Dude, here's the thing. I saw Shuck's age, and I saw some people talking about how, by the way, if you want a question, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, and we'll talk about it. Surrounding all your teams, any topic, we'll talk about it. But, yeah, dude, I didn't think the Saints were insane to draft a 25-year-old quarterback. Like, dude, people get way too wrapped up in, like, the age of some of these guys, like 24, 25. And if I remember right, when Bo Nix was drafted to the Denver Broncos, wasn't he like 24? He was. And I know Bo Nix has a lot of haters. I'm not one of them. I think Bo Nix is fucking good as hell. I do. I'm being dead ass. I think Bo Nix is good. But I remember when he was drafted, people were saying how old he was. And I'm like, why are we acting like QBs? They're not wide receivers. They're not running backs. Right? They're not tight ends. Even tight ends can play for a long ass time too. But quarterbacks, we've seen them have pretty long careers, dude. Pretty long careers. Like, how old is Matthew Stafford right now? Is it Matthew Stafford like 36? I think Matthew Stafford's 36. Matthew Stafford age. Damn. He's 38. Matthew Stafford's 38. And it sounded like Matthew Stafford might play another 3 to 4 years. Remember we were talking about his back? How everybody's concerned for Matthew Stafford's back? Damn, do we look stupid. But, yeah, bro, I mean, quarterbacks can play for a while. They really can. Matters a lot about the offensive line, keeping them upright. Are they mobile? Right? Are they a good passer along with being mobile? Because that's huge. Once the mobility is kind of done, they still got to be able to pass. And Tyler Shuck is an athlete. I didn't even realize that. Like, that dude can straight up run. So, like, his passing along with his mobility, I don't see any reason as to why he couldn't play 13 years. You just never know. A lot, we're gonna learn a lot about Tyler Shuck in this upcoming year. But what a surprise from the 2025 draft. Holy shit. Like, I remember people, they were hella talking. They were like, yeah, we're not expecting much from Tyler Shuck. And if people try to backtrack, I don't even want to hear it. I didn't really hear much positive about Tyler Shuck. And I heard a lot of people talk about his age. So don't try to play the games. Don't try to play the games with me. Yeah, but I really like Tyler Shuck. I do. I'm going to keep repeating this, guys. I'm going to keep repeating this. Type a question in the chat and we'll talk about it. Come on now. Let's get the chat live. The more live it is, I won't leave. But if it's dead, then I'm going to run out of shit to talk about today. I will. And I just made a video too. Actually, I made 2 videos. Hey, be sure to drop a like and go hype those videos up. All right? Don't be hating on your boy. Go check out my last 2 videos. Go check them out. B Love Sandworm says Shuck looking like a franchise quarterback. He is. Like I said though, this upcoming year will tell us a lot. It'll like have a full like starting out week 1, you know. And another thing that I didn't mention about the Saints as well, going on to that Tyler Shuck second half of the season, dude, the Saints. What was the division finished at? Because NFC South. Let me see records. 2025. If I remember right, the Saints close. Wow. Wow. Dude, I'm like looking at it. I'm just shocked. They were the NFC South was crazy. Carolina all the way from 1 to 4. So Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Atlanta Falcons, they were all 8 and 9. Okay? Then you have the New Orleans Saints, who were 6 and 11, 2 games back from the rest of those teams. So it would not shock me if the Saints possibly came out of the South this year. It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. With 3 teams being 8 and 9 in the NFC South and the Saints coming in at 6 and 11, they had 2 different starting quarterbacks. They had a first-year head coach, bro. Like I'm like, they kind of look good. They kind of look good. I'm not gonna lie. But again, we'll see what happens, bro. We'll be talking about them more. B Love Sandworm says, who will be remembered as the better Miami QB? Cam Ward, Carson Beck, or Darian Mesa? I don't know, man. I really like Cam Ward. I do. Ooh, I think Cam Ward could be pretty good. I know you call them a bum and shit, but I think you're sleeping on it. I think you should go and not just watch highlights. I think you need to get on NFL.com, go watch the All 22, and just watch some of the games from the Titans. Because now that they have Cardinal Tate, the Titans, oh, man. Okay, the one thing is Brian Daboll. I'm like, that's the one thing that I'm kind of like, is Brian Daboll good or is he not? I don't know. I don't. But I assume it's just an OC, not having to be a head coach. He might be able to cook up some shit for that offense. But yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know. But I do like Cam Ward. I do. I like Cam Ward a lot. I don't like Carson Beck. No. 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 And I thought that the Arizona Cardinals were I thought they're kind of dumb for taking Carson Beck. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I thought it was like a stupid pick. I felt that they should have went another position. I'm like, Carson Beck? I'm like, how about you guys just ride out with Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett? We're going into the 2027 NFL draft next year, which we're possibly talking about what? We're possibly talking about what, like 4 QBs, 3 or 4 QBs in the first round, which is very possible. Cardinals should have just waited. I don't know why they did that. Below Sandworm says, I don't know, bro. I was watching Titans tape today and Cam couldn't even hold on to the ball. What? I mean, he had a couple hiccups, but just from all the film that I've watched, I don't know. I think Cam Ward could be good. And I don't think that the Titans team last year was very good. So I'm not gonna put after what we've seen in the past from some of these young QBs, I'm not gonna like. Okay, listen to me. I'm not gonna say for sure whether a QB in his first year as a rookie is good or bad with a bad coaching staff. I'm not doing it. Look at Sam. Look at Baker Mayfield. The list goes on. Geno Smith when he went to Seattle. The list goes on, dude. The coaching staff was not good this past season, so I'm not going to put that on Cam Ward. Salute Tada 7128 says thoughts on the Browns offseason. Dude, I actually really like the Browns offseason. And I thought they drafted really good. I do. I I have high hopes for the Browns this year. I really do, because um it's just the fact that Todd Monken is coming over, and Todd Monken with the Baltimore Ravens, and I know it's Lamar Jackson. I know we're talking about an entirely different beast, a top 3 quarterback, however you want to, list them. You could do Patrick this year, Lamar this year, freaking Josh this year. It just depends. And Joe Burrow. I'll put Joe Burrow in that too. But the fact that Baltimore's offense was so good with Todd Monken, and now he's going over to the Cleveland Browns, who I think he's better than Stefanski. I think he's more proven. And I know people were like knocking about his age and stuff, but I'm like, dude, the way they drafted, they have 2 QBs. And for all we know, Deshaun Watson might be really good under Todd Monken. That is very possible. They got Quinshaw Judkins. They got their wide receivers that they drafted. Dude, like both the young wide receivers are really good. Fannin is really underrated. I love the offense. The one thing that I don't know if they're going to go out and ball and be crazy, but I just like the fact that you have all those weapons and you're under Todd Monken. The one thing that worries me about the Cleveland Browns right now, I'm not really all that wrapped up in the Myles Garrett loss. I'm not. Jared Verse is really good, dude. He is. Like, the fact that the Los Angeles Rams traded for Myles Garrett, it's like, oh, cool, Myles Garrett. Yeah, Myles Garrett, arguably probably the best defensive player in the league. I understand that. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Jared Verse isn't also really good. Jared Verse is really good. The Cleveland Browns got a good player in return, and they got picks. I thought they cooked on that trade. But without Jim Schwartz there, I'm like, I don't really know what to expect of the defense. I don't. They got ballers on the defensive side. I'm not denying that, but I'm like, I just don't know what we're getting here, without Jim Schwartz. Because Jim Schwartz would literally just, I think, if I remember right, that defense under Jim Schwartz played a high percentage of man. Like, they literally just let those corners sit and just play man-to-man coverage, and they were so good. Denzel Ward, dude, he's so good. But that'll be the big question for me. I'm not really as much worried about the offense, even though the quarterback play it's a question mark. I'm not really worried about the offense as much as I am the defense. I'm not. The defense is my main thing. So we'll see how good the Cleveland Browns are this year. But I think just off of right now, I wouldn't be shocked if they have 6+ wins. I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to get too crazy because I think that they could have a little bit more than that. But I got 6 wins. I don't think that's really that crazy to say. But if the defense is atrocious, I don't think they're getting 6 wins. I'll say that much right now. Below Soundworm says, based on stats, Dylan Gabriel played better than Shedeur. Maybe, but he would never push the ball down the field. Yeah, I every single game I watched with Dylan Gabriel, he never pushed the ball down the field. Like, I get it. He's like quick, fast. He gets the ball out fast. I'll give him that over Shedeur. That's the only fucking thing I'm giving him over Shedeur Sanders. He gets the ball out faster. He's much more decisive. But that's something that both of them can get better at, right? I just think Shedeur is way better than I don't know. I think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. I don't buy into Dylan Gabriel's game like at all. I think this is a strictly a quarterback competition between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. And the headline speaks for themselves too. Like you see them barely talking about Dylan Gabriel. I don't dislike Dylan Gabriel. I just don't think that, I don't know. I just don't see him having success on the team as opposed to those other two. It's just the way I see it. Be sure to drop a like. Be sure to subscribe. Keep dropping questions. Below Sandworm says he also doesn't run backwards 20 yards like a certain Nepo quarterback. Well, you want to know who else runs 20 yards back? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Seen him do it plenty of times. I get they're proven, I get they're superstars, but shit, man, I'm like, let's not act like we haven't seen some of the top guys do some absolutely just atrocious type shit, right? Be fair with me. Be fair with me. We have seen that. Come on now. But man, being a Saints fan and having Tyler Shuck play the way he did, I feel some type of way. I'm not gonna lie. I feel some type of way towards the rest of those younger guys. But I think that Shuck was in the best situation aside from Jackson Dart. Jackson, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Jackson Dart was in a pretty good situation with Brian Dayball, but the Giants, I don't know, man. Shuck is in a better situation. Okay, Shuck and Cam Ward are in a better situation than Jackson Dart with offensive play callers. I do not believe in Matt Nagy at all. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think the Giants should have brought in Matt Nagy. I think they should have brought in a younger offensive mind. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. Drop questions, guys. Keep it live. Keep it live. Or I'm going to go watch House of Dragons or Boondocks or something. Beloved Sandworm says, Saints not exactly a good team either, but I think it's fair to compare us to the Titans or Browns. Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do think they're slightly better, though. I do think they're slightly better. Dude, I'll tell you this much, though. You guys got rid of Alontae Taylor, right? Alontae Taylor went to the Tennessee Titans. Kool-Aid, though. Kool-Aid can ball, son. Kool-Aid can ball. And in that draft, what was that? I'm trying to think what year that was. That was the 2024 NFL draft, correct? Yeah, in that draft, dude, I was wanting the Eagles to draft either I was wanting the Philadelphia Eagles, my team, you see him in the back right there. I was wanting them to draft Quinyon Mitchell or Kool-Aid McKinstry. And they ended up taking Q. They ended up taking Q, and that's worked out really well for us because Quinyon Mitchell is literally a top 3, top 4 corner in my opinion. Lots of people will be like, no. I'm like, no. Look at the stats, watch the tape, and then get back to me. Get back to me. Him and Christian Gonzalez, literally a high percentage of passes thrown their way, a ton of targets, and the lowest 50% or more of snaps out of all starting quarterbacks, the lowest completion percentages. That's all I'm going to say. You guys do your own research. But yeah, they ended up taking Q. But also I was like, Kool-Aid can fucking ball. And I've done a film breakdown on him. You should check it out, beloved. Because it's a pretty solid breakdown on Kool-Aid. I think he's really good, dude. And I think he's just going to get better this upcoming year. Beloved Sandworm says, are the Rams a lock for the Super Bowl? Fuck no, dude. I don't care what anybody says. I don't. I think the Rams are going to be way good, and they'll most definitely have a shot at the Super Bowl with that team. But just because they added Myles Garrett, that doesn't make it a lock for me. It doesn't. Like their offense, I know the Rams offense is going to go out there and cook. Every now and then you'll get those weird games from Matthew Stafford where he'll just play like trash. He'll have like 1 or 2 games per season. But the defense, yeah, they went out and added Myles Garrett. That's great. But I've been vocal about this. Other people have been. On the back end of the season for the Los Angeles Rams, their defense sucked. They sucked. After they played the Carolina Panthers in the regular season, going into the postseason, they were atrocious. They were literally so bad after that, dude. And yeah, the pass rush with Myles Garrett, who's not going to disappear at times, like a Jared Verse. Jared Verse is still really good, but Myles Garrett is always going to be a threat along with those other young defensive lines, so they're going to make it good. And I understand they brought in Jalen Watson along with Trent McDuffie. At this point, I don't think Trent McDuffie is... I don't have him in my top 10. I have him right outside of my top 10. That's just me. People are going to call me crazy. Depending on the day with... let me walk back a little bit. Depending on the week with Trent McDuffie this year, I'm going to have him is where I'll have him in the top 10, maybe slightly out of the top 10 because he's still a phenomenal corner. But Watson, Emmanuel Forbes, I thought he played good at, points this season. Then he just started to play bad like the rest of the defense. And their safeties, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that the Rams are a lock. I'm just not on that wave. And I'm like, people are talking shit on the Niners. People think the Niners are going to be bad. They definitely have some things to work out. And you see Colin Cowherd talk about how they have older players. I understand that. But the Niners could still also be good. They really still could be good, and they could challenge the Rams. And then you got to put in the big bad Seattle Seahawks, who just won the Super Bowl. Everybody's talking like they didn't win the Super Bowl, even though they did. Their defense is literally the best in the whole division. And so I think they're also going to make it difficult for the Rams. And so I don't think it's a lock for them to go to the Super Bowl. And I mean, let's just look at their schedule real quick, dude. So the Rams schedule for 2026. Because I'm getting tired of people saying that about the Rams, that they're like a lock to go to the Super Bowl. I'm like, fuck, no, they're not. You saw this past year, the NFC was more competitive than the AFC. Hell no, they're no lock. So the first game, they play the Niners. You never know which way that's going to go. Then they play the Giants. They'll probably win that game. Then they play the Broncos. That's going to be a tough game. They play the Eagles. If Mannion can cook, then the Eagles are going to be also hard. And also Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford's literally never beat the Eagles. With the Rams. Him and McVay, they haven't beat the Eagles. And we saw what happened last year. They literally blew like a massive lead. So that isn't going to be an easy game. And the defense is good for the Eagles. The Bills, their pass defense was good on the back end. And their offense, they have their returning OC as the head coach. They're going to be good. That'll be a tough game. Cardinals, they're probably going to win. The Raiders, they're probably going to win. Although, probably won't be the same old Raiders where you just like literally blow over them, because I think their defense is going to be better this year. A little bit better. The Chargers, that's going to be a tough game. They got Mike McDaniel now. Their defense plays tough. And that's the thing. The Rams, they cook with McVay. Justin Herbert, with the best OC that he's ever had, they could literally just mess up the Rams. That would not shock me at all. They could literally mess them up, dude, if J Herb doesn't go out there and have one of those weird games. Rams versus the Commanders, that's going to be a tough game. Jaden Daniels healthy. Their offense will be popping. I don't know about the defense, but their offense will be humming. Then they play the Cardinals again. They play the Packers November 25th. That's going to be a tough game. They could literally lose to the Packers. Like I'm saying, the NFC is not easy. They play the Chiefs. We know that the Chiefs are going to be better this year. That's going to be a tough game for the Rams. They could lose that game, or they could win it December 3rd. Rams versus Niners, another tough NFC West in-division game. They play the Cowboys. The Cowboys offense, we know how good the Cowboys offense was this past year. They were literally a top 5 offense. If the defense gets good, the Dallas Cowboys are also going to be good. So they're another team that you can literally put in the NFC that's going to make it difficult. Even though Dak and them, they're kind of sus in the playoffs. But if that defense is good, they're going to be a good team. Then you got them playing the Seattle Seahawks on Christmas Day. NFC West, tough matchup against former Super Bowl champions. January 3rd versus Buccaneers. I don't really know what to expect of the Bucs this year, but assuming Baker Mayfield is healthy, that offense can score a lot of points. And then the last game of the season, January 10th, against the Seattle Seahawks. Again, another NFC West matchup. I don't think they're any lock to make the Super Bowl this year. Do you guys think they're a lock? Tell me in the chat. Do you guys think that the Los Angeles Rams are a lock to make the Super Bowl this year? I don't. I don't buy it, dude. Oh, beloved Sandworm, bro. He's keeping it live. The rest of you guys put shit in the chat, too. Put a question in there, and we'll talk about it, bro. He's keeping this shit live, son. He says Broncos robbed themselves this last year. Hell yeah, they did. And I think that the Broncos, dude, there's a bunch of Pats fans that have just subbed. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but I'm just being real with you. If Bo Nix is in that game, in the conference game, AFC Championship game, you guys are losing that shit. I'm telling you that right now. You guys are losing that game, and they're going to the Super Bowl. Whether they win it or not, I don't know. But Yeah, dude, they were robbed from their quarterback being hurt. The news after the divisional round when they announced that, I was like, holy shit. Holy shit. I was like, nah, dude, they don't have no Nick Foles on their team. They're losing. It was really close though. It was really close, but yeah, bro, they definitely were robbed. All right, man. I am whew. We've been talking. We've been talking. We have a couple people up in here keeping us live. Below Soundworm sending hella questions. Hella questions. Share this out. Let's see if we can get some more people in here, more questions. Or maybe I'm about to be done. Maybe I'm gonna go play some Mario Kart. You guys putting questions in the chat is what keeping me from doing that. So do your thing. Below Soundworm says if Sean Payton just kicked that field goal, or just read the weather report, Broncos go to the bowl. Yeah, dude. Like I said, they should have went to the Super Bowl. But I think if Bo Nix was healthy, I think they would have. They possibly could have steamrolled the Patriots. Dead ass. They could have steamrolled them, dude. I don't know. I know I've heard that Drake May was like hurt throughout the playoffs, but I'm like, one more year. If the Patriots get into the playoffs this year and he plays bad again, he's gonna have that label like we talk about with some of these other good quarterbacks. Not good in the playoffs. So we'll have to see. Generation. All right. Nobody else has any more questions? Nobody wants to talk any more football? Hell, dude, we could push this stream to 2 hours if you guys want. You just gotta keep putting shit in here. I can only come up with so much at this point, bro. I'm like fighting down teeth freaking. How much longer do we got? It's almost July, so we're about a little less than a month out from training camp, which will get interesting. So between now and then, unless any news drops, I'll probably be making some like just videos, just talking about a certain subject, drop a video like that, and I'll just keep releasing players. Just any player I can find that's undrafted or one of these guys that's drafted that I just missed, or any second or third year player in the league already that I think like I'm like, oh shit, like so and so could have a good year. Or so and so's being slept on. Like I keep finding people like all the time. I keep finding players, dude. Right when I think I'm not like I'm gonna run out, I just keep finding guys. Beloved Soundworm says, does Mendoza start this year? I think at some point Mendoza will start this year. I do. I think. Hold up. I think because Kirk Cousins wasn't atrocious on the Atlanta Falcons this past year. And I mean, if Kirk Cousins can just be solid, as long as he's not playing bad, then I think that Mendoza, I would not be shocked if he literally sat on the bench all year. Because I just think the Raiders as a whole are better this year, dude. So, I don't know. But I don't know. I want to see him start at some point this year. A lot of people are thinking he's going to start at some point this year. But, I don't know. It just wouldn't shock me if we don't really know what to expect of the Raiders this year. We just expect them to be better than they have been in the past on both sides of the ball. But if they just want to have Mendoza sit on the bench all year, I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Would I love to watch him play? Absolutely. It's something to talk about. See if he's good, But if they're trying to play it smart, let him ride on the bench. I don't see any reason as to why that'd be bad. Below Soundworm says, does Dion still have a job after this year? Yes. That's my guess. Because it feels like, I don't know, Colorado doesn't seem like one of those hyper aggressive colleges that are going to be like, we're going to force you out. Like, Coach Prime just has like a lot of backing behind him. And I don't think that they'll force him out yet. I literally give it like 2 years. 2 years, and if Colorado, including this upcoming year, so this year and next season, So if Colorado's not good the next 2 seasons, I could see them forcing him out. But I don't know. College football is so like fast moving now with all the NIL, people transferring, just so many things happening. I don't see. I just don't see Colorado moving on from Dion. I don't. I don't. And I feel like he's still kind of trying to establish himself with Colorado. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel like some of these college head coaches that we see, they have just been around forever. We kind of know what they're about. I don't really feel like Coach Prime has really I don't really feel like he's hit that spot where we know exactly what his Colorado team is, because the first couple of years it was just all flash this, flash that. People hated him, people liked him, but I'm like, let's give him 2 years. Let's give him a couple 2 years. Beloved Sandworm says NIL has ruined college football. I don't think so. I don't think so, because without NIL, I don't think you see a Jahmyr Gibbs go to Alabama. I don't think you see a Jahmyr Gibbs go from Georgia Tech to an Alabama. I think it gives some of these guys really good opportunities. And it's not like all of these guys leave their teams. It doesn't. NIL gets a bad rap, and there definitely are some things that they, I feel like there's some players that are like overpaid and stuff and whatnot, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I've seen things and watched things like Nick Saban. He's not the biggest, like, doesn't really like it. Some of these old school head coaches probably don't like it. Dabo Swinney doesn't really feel like he's like adapted to the whole NIL thing and like bringing over good athletes. Some of these colleges just really haven't adapted, and others have. So I feel like this is why you have like an Indiana just pop up and they're good out of nowhere. Like, who in the world would have thought Indiana University would get a natty? Not me. No, not even for the next 20 years, but they just happened to do it this past year. And I was shocked. I was shocked, dude. I was watching Indiana. I'm like, what is this? Beloved Sandworm says Alabama was always paying them if we keeping it 100. Oh, man. Woo! Those rich boosters down in the South, bro. Come on. Now, SEC football. Talk to me. I'll talk back. Maybe not right now, but I'll talk back. I get where you're coming from. Damn, dude. I'm trying to think. So I'm in Utah. But I've been like a big hater, like BYU, Utah. I'm always hating all those universities, even though I've had like kids I grew up with that like went to both of them and played and shit. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Coach Whittingham went to Michigan. I'm just remembering that now. Coach Whittingham went to Michigan, and now Utah. I'm like, I don't even know how good Utah is gonna be anymore. I don't. BYU, I'm just kind of like, whatever. But I don't. No. I got them on the same wavelength. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I just keep up with it. But Utah could be. See it being rough 2 years. But Michigan, you got Coach Whittingham. You should be very excited, right? Of course, you have the whole thing go on with your head coach, but before that, you had Coach Harbaugh, and now you guys have Coach Whittingham. Coach Whittingham is a great coach. He is a great coach. Beloved Soundworm says, I'm a Michigan fan. Big ups to y'all for lending him out. Don't say we, because I ain't no BYU fan. I ain't no Utah fan. I ain't no Utah State fan. I ain't no Weber State fan. I ain't no SU fan. I'm none of them. Zilch. But here's what I'm telling you. This is why I fuck with Coach Whittingham. Pause. But this is why I like Coach Whittingham, dude, because when I was in high school, we used to go to I went to a lot of 7-on-7 camps. I went to a lot of padded camps at some of the colleges. I went to one at Utah. I went to one at BYU. There's a smaller school here called Snow College, so I go to those camps. But, dude, we go to the 7-on-7 camps up at the U. They called it the Ute Shoot. And it was so sick. It was so sick because Bronco Mendenhall, like, he was pretty active when I'd go to BYU camps. But Coach Whittingham at Utah camps, dude. Oh my God, dude, he got me so pumped. I was like, this is why I fuck with Utah over BYU. Cause I'd go to camps, right? And I remember the seniors, they were doing the 7-on-7. Cause I was on JV. Like the highest I was my sophomore year was on JV, not on varsity. But they'd be doing, the linemen would be doing the tug of war challenge with the rope. So they'd have, if I remember right, I think it was it all of the offensive linemen or was it just like 3 or 4 of them? I'm trying to remember. No, it was all the offensive linemen. So left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle. And I remember they were doing the tug of war challenge right off the side of the indoor facility up at Utah. And dude, Coach Whittingham was in the middle. He was in the middle of it, dude, just getting amped, going crazy. I was like, bro, I mess with Coach Whittingham. I mess with him, dude. He's so cool. And yeah, dude, I used to work for this restaurant, and there was a couple times I got to meet him. I just think that he's a phenomenal head coach. And I think that Michigan is getting a coach that is probably going to ride it out his whole time with Michigan until he retires. And that's just me. That's just my opinion. That's just me guessing, because I think that he's such a good college football coach, dude. I do. But yeah, man. Anybody else got anything up in here? Beloved Soundware, he's been holding up this stream, my guy. Let's give him a clap. Give him a clap. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. And you better be subbed so you get back on some more of these streams. I'm telling you that right now. And Beloved Sandworm, don't be hating, bro. The rest of you, don't be hating. Make sure to sub up. But yeah, man, I think that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go play some Mario Kart. Oh, right before Below Soundworm says, I'm sure if Michigan starts winning, NCAA will just sanction us again. I don't know, bro. I don't know, but I'm outie. I appreciate the love. Yeah, bro. We'll do a live pretty soon. Make sure to follow me up in the top left. Drop a player, drop any topic, and I'll make a video on it. I will make a video on it. That's something that I'm trying to do. That's something that I'm going to try to get going. Obviously, once the football season gets going, I'll just be coming up with a ton more things to talk about. But yeah, appreciate the love, and I'm out, you guys. Have a good night.